Marvel Rivals has a huge double standard problems when it comes to the differences in power for the classes. I think it's important that we talk about it.
Gave opinions, wasn't needed. Came clutch with a buzzer beater. Beast feast and he eats the beat. Whatever's left, let the buzzers eat it. Quick with it, clean record. Mayweather, undefeated. He came and he saw and he conquered. I got a slay at the concert. You know the story, the tortoise in here. You want the glory, your nose in the air. I couldn't care less about your money, phone, and your pair of shoes and your side hose.
What's good, YouTube? Big Unk Chaos here to give you all my thoughts and opinions on the discrepancies in power when it comes to the different classes in Marvel Rivals. Getting right into it, I want to start by saying this is not supposed to be some crybaby fest about NetEase and all the things they're doing wrong. I personally believe that this season's patch notes and updates, despite what a lot of people are saying, were good for the most part. I think that the overall lowering in power for most of the super strong characters while also uplifting the others was a good decision by NetEase to basically cool the temperature of power within the game. I also think it's very important to highlight all the good things that Marvel Rivals does for us, because there's a lot of people out there that play the game so much but just only ever bring up the bad parts of it. And I don't want to be one of those people. There's a lot of things in Rivals we don't like, the negative teammates, the weird matchmaking, the alleged non-EOM. That said, I think that this was overall good with one exception, and that's Devil Dinosaur. Right now, all of you are seeing some gameplay of me playing as Cyclops, the newest character. Super fun and super powerful. And it got me thinking like, wow, this guy's broken. And I was playing with some of my friends earlier. They're saying, yeah, he's got to be locked in ranked. He might even take out Gambit as far as like the first #1 banned character. And I thought to myself, and I'm like, I don't know if he'd be #1, but he might be #2. I mean, this guy is very strong. And then I began to notice a pattern within the game. When it came to Duelist characters, let's look back and observe. Elsa Bloodstone, broken. We all know that. When she first came out, she was insane. Who else do we have that came out? Phoenix, nuts. Absolutely crackhead, strong. Truly insane. Let's dive back a little bit more recently then. We could ignore Daredevil if we want to, but can you ignore Black Cat? Now, some of you are probably gonna immediately say, well, Unk, they were nerfed. What else do you want NetEase to do? I think that for starters, one, they overcorrected the nerfs to Black Cat and have now made her a fraction of her power. I don't think Daredevil got nearly as much hate as she got, and he was kind of oppressive for a while. But look at when they did it. Look at how long it took for them to actually get it done. A whole 2 seasons. I guess 1 season since, these are half seasons, but really just dissect that for a moment. Why did they allow Black Cat to reign supreme for so long? Why did they allow her to be the most oppressive, diabolical force in the game consistently? And a better question is, why did no one have an issue with that? And I'll be honest here, myself included. And it's because there's a certain expectation for a duelist to have power. You expect them to be strong. You expect them to be able to kill people. You expect them to pull their weight. And I'm not against that by any measure. But why is it that Devil Dinosaur lost that power? Why is it that Devil Dinosaur can no longer answer an entire archetype in Flyers? A lot of times in Rivals, you're gonna see solo tanks. You're gonna see people operating as individual tanks. Why on earth then do I have to now have that? But I don't have the power to make a difference. You see, the thing about duelist characters is you'll always have 2 of them. It doesn't matter if there's 1 tank, 3 tanks, 1 strategist, 2 strategists, you'll always get your 2 duelists. And I think that NetEase makes a habit of making them the strongest characters they release because of that fact. They know that the duelist, the insta-lock DPS that's gonna go 1 in 14 on your team, they know no matter what happens, rain, sleet, or snow, they know they're gonna be playing. And I think that because of that, we've seen a huge influx of duelists just coming out of the gate broken. I mean, let's be real here. For most of us who have history with Spider-Man and know about his lore, Black Cat was never this crackhead strong in any of the comics. I mean, come on, making portals, barriers. She's got a domain expansion or a simple domain. For those of you who know Ball, that's a JJK reference. I'm just saying, she has so many ways of countering them. And all Devil Dino had was a laser and a grab. Now, granted, he did make it hard for other tanks. But what does that say about the other duelists in the game and what they had to go through? I mean, are we just going to assume here that for some reason that it's fun for a Blade to fight against a Black Cat? are we gonna assume that it's fun for, I don't know, let's see, a regular DPS, I'd say, let's just say a Bucky to have to face down a Daredevil that grabs you from the sky? I don't know. I when I think of things like that, it's like the difference there, it's non-applicable because no one seems to mind when the Duelist is overpowered. They only seem to care when it's another class, because otherwise it's worthwhile to use your ban slots. I had people straight up saying that if you had to ban a Vanguard, you were wasting your bans. That's insane to me. Vanguards shouldn't just be seen as meat shields and plushies. They should be threatening and imposing forces within the game. They should be something you're scared to approach, especially considering the fact that you're often in games gonna have one of them. I have so many games just off the top of my head where I was the only Vanguard. And it's like, why shouldn't I have somebody who has enough power to help me make a difference so I can be that playmaker, so I can be the deciding factor? So it's not just me absorbing damage and hoping that the 3 DPS on my team will do their job, but that I actually can be the one to decide if we win. What's the difference between that and Duelists and Vanguards? And something else that just really highlight here, in this match alone, I have a tank that's just chilling. Look at him, he's right here, AFKing it up, having a grand old time, trolling us. If I was the only Vanguard here, I'd be pissed, because now it's my job to take a majority of the damage, majority of the beating, and a majority of the blame when this is over. I think Vanguards by far, normally, are the most likely to flex, most likely to fill, and they deserve to be able to be playmakers. They shouldn't have to be, I guess, forced into the role of the side character. Me and my buddy, we play a lot of Rivals, and I know he's just giving me crap when he says, he brings up the fact he gets MVP a lot, like Spider-Man, and my other buddy he plays like Black Widow even, and he'll get it more than me, and I'm like, oh, I'm the guy's filling. And to be clear, I'm not hating on the fact that they get it, but it's just the mentality of that, and just the showing of how hard it is for you to get that, for you to have access to that as a Vanguard in this game. So many other classes have different capabilities. Let's dissect Gambit for a second. How oppressive was he for the longest time? Gambit could do whatever he wanted, and no one could stop him. That's literally how it was going. Why was he allowed to persist? If we want to take it away from the Duelist, I don't want to make it about a specific class. I mean, I'm just thinking of them because they're the ones who seem to be given the most ability to go crazy at the start. They're a lot more tame when it comes to strategists initially. Most of the time, like, look at what happened with White Fox. Although I didn't believe she needed the buff, she got one because the player base collectively decided that. Ultron was mid forever, and now look at him. The first season, he's actually doing good. They're like, hey, we gotta weaken him up a little bit. He's too strong. He's too powerful. Come on, y'all. Let's be serious here. I think that NetEase should undo the changes to Devil Dino and allow a Vanguard to be that oppressive force. And if not him, there should be one Vanguard on here that is worthy of a ban, that makes people nervous enough that they have to decide, hey, I don't want to have to fight this. I don't want to have to deal with this guy. I don't have to worry about fighting against the Dino. Anyways, y'all, it's been real. I've been Unk. Y'all been y'all. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoy this type of content, be sure to let me know in the comment section. Hype the video up if you're on mobile. It really helps me out. And as always, tell your auntie I said hi. And let me know, again, in the comment section, do you guys think I'm tripping or am I valid?